An escaped convicted murderer has been on the run for 6 days now. And today, police say the manhunt is shifting to a new area after the suspect apparently slipped outside what they viewed as the search perimeter, leading 2 nearby schools to actually close for the day. Danelo Cavalcante was convicted on August the 16th for the 2021 killing of his ex-girlfriend. He stabbed her 38 times in front of her 2 young children. Days later, last Thursday, Cavalcante escaped from Chester County Prison. Earlier today, law enforcement confirmed his latest known whereabouts.
We had one additional sighting of Cavalcante last evening within that perimeter and conducted a multiple hours-long search of the area, but were unable to locate him. Early this morning, we were notified by security at Longwood Gardens that they had trail camera photos taken on their property, which appear to be Cavalcante. This area is just south of the perimeter. Investigators quickly examined those photos, and we can confirm it is Cavalcante.
These are the trail camera photos of Cavalcante the officer's talking about there. And this is all taking place in an area not far from the prison where he escaped, about 30 miles west of Philly. It's very rural, about 1,000 acres of gardens and lush woodland. So on Saturday, he spotted just 1.5 miles from the prison on a residential security camera. And yesterday, the Pennsylvania State Police announced 4 credible sightings of him coming over the holiday weekend, all within the suspected zone, which led to some, let's call it, optimism today that he'll be captured soon.
What I can tell you is I think that what's occurred is that pressure that we've been putting on him is working. We squeezed him hard enough over a period of a few days, and he was not able to get any relief and managed to find a place to get out. Obviously, I wish we would have been able to capture him without him getting through that perimeter, but it is also not shocking. It's dark, it's a large area, and not to make excuses. I mean, it's just difficult terrain and things.
But it's also very dangerous, since citizens of Chester County have apparently encountered him directly.
Police have responded to well over 100 tips from varying neighbors in the area, including allegations of possible break-ins to residential homes in the vicinity within a 1 to 2 mile radius of the prison. One resident indicated that they observed a small male fitting the description of our suspect with a backpack on in the area approximately 11:30 p.m. last night.
According to the Philadelphia Inquirer, a Westchester, Pennsylvania man came practically face-to-face with Cavalcante inside his home on Friday night. After Ryan Drummond reportedly heard a noise in his kitchen just before midnight, he checked on his 2 daughters and then looked over his second-floor landing. He said, quote, "I decided not to confront him and thought it was a better move to flick the light switch, and he flicked it back at me, which was terrifying. So I told my wife to call 911. Drummond reported that he observed a man fitting Cavalcante's description slowly walk towards his living room, slip out the door wearing a white baseball cap that he apparently stole from the house. Joining us now is Vinny Vella, covers suburban courts and crime for the Philadelphia Inquirer. Vinny, thanks very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. Obviously, this is a very big deal where you live. But my understanding is that there has been, now you uncovered, I believe, that there was another escape from this same prison?
Yeah, that's correct, Dan. There was an escape from the prison in May of this year. An inmate who was in custody for aggravated assault was able to, according to police, basically shimmy his way out of the jail using a narrow hallway attached to one of the prison's exercise yards. It's hard to sort of imagine it, but basically he put his hands on one wall and his feet on the other, and it was such a small gap, he was able to basically horizontally climb up to the roof and cross the roof and escape. A source within the jail told me that this is a similar method to what Cavalcante used. Basically, he was also in an exercise yard, a different one than this first prisoner, and was able to climb up to the roof using a similar method.
It sounds to me, listening to the authorities there, and I'm reading the tea leaves a little bit here, that there is a level of confidence that they're going to find him. I mean, how much can they secure off that area? We talked about the fact that it's a lot of wooded areas, et cetera. I mean, can't they sort of get some heat-seeking devices to determine where he may be out there, et cetera?
Well, I think the specifics of the technology they used have been kept under wraps for obvious reasons. They don't want to give this guy any sort of idea of how they're looking for him. But to answer your question, there was a level of confidence today from Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens, who's leading the search for the Pennsylvania State Police. He did make a note that the terrain that they're looking for him in is very dark. It's very overgrown, difficult to move through.
Yeah.
So they are confident that they've slowed him down to an extent.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.